this direction, and I have the tripwires for this direction. Okay, so that's dangerous. Welcome, friends. You might recognize this as the terribly yucky repulsive base, and it's actually pretty straightforward. It's got a few different names. I know Vedui calls this the zombie force field. I call them the repulsive blocks, and actually the principle is simple. Let me see if I can go down here. You put down these blocks, and zombies generally don't like to walk on them, and it's not because they're not really force field, they're not really repulsive in such a way, they simply don't really exist. Ooh, spooky, isn't it? No, actually, it's really straightforward. So when the zombies path, they path over normal blocks because, well, that's something to walk on. Players can walk here because, well, you can see that there's something here, so when you walk there, you know you're not going to fall down. Zombies, however, don't really see them as anything at all. So they think that basically we have, let me see if I can walk through here or fly through here. They basically think it's just a drop down here below, and that's it. They don't see that there's any block here, and they think it's just a hole, and if there's just a hole, they will just generally just avoid it. Once in a while, they'll get stuck on top of it, and they go like, what to do? And then they start bashing down, but most of the time, they'll just sort of go like, fine, I'll just take another path around, and this is the path around, which then makes me fall down here, and then I will hopefully die if the traps and everything is working. And even though this was just a concept base to sort of show you that, you know, this kind of blocks, the way they're working and why they're working, people keep asking me, does it still work? And I thought, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to put this against a day 7000 insane difficulty 64 concurrent horde, blood moon horde, and see what really happens. But of course, I'm going to need to do a little bit of, well, I'm going to need to paint a little bit. I mean, it looks a little bit too basic like this, but I'm going to need to look at doing some basic upgrades to just make it actually function, because right now it's got like a couple of dart traps on each side and everything, well, 4 on each side, which I don't think that's enough. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time upgrading it, probably steal up the walkway here, putting in more traps, and then we're going to run it against a really big horde, and we'll see, hey, does it really work or not? And my upgrades are done. Doesn't it look cool? Like sort of a bunker kind of thing, a lot more. So a couple of things I've done. Obviously, I've upgraded some of the things to steel, like these ones. Obviously, the path up and everything, really important. I have actually taken out one of the sides here, just in case some of the... Am I stuck here? Nope, I should be able to get past. In case some of the zombies actually decide to... Can they walk up here? Let's do this. In case sometimes they get stuck and then they bash things and drop down into this sort of a pit. Go away, lady. And so I have made a way up so they can actually get up here and continue on their way. I put in a bunch of dart traps. I'll show that from the inside. And of course, the usual here, I've upgraded everything. I put in a bunch of triggers here. So I have trigger plates for this direction, and I have the tripwires for this direction. Okay, so that's dangerous. So the way in is basically to jump over there, which is deadly if you actually don't jump over there. Anyway... So inside here I have a bunch of dart traps. You see I have 10 on this side, and I have basically 8 on this side, 10 on that side, and then I have another 8 on that side as well. So I got tons of dart traps. Hopefully that is sufficient. It's all powered and everything. And I have also these 2 blade traps just in case there's any vultures that come in. And I should be able to stand here and basically pop some zombies. Maybe I want to make sure I don't hit the demolisher, which might be a little bit tougher. But I'm using the slugs, which will penetrate a little bit, and then I'm using the hollow point with this one, which will just do regular damage to the first zombie. Once they fall... Oh, it was a chicken that came in. That's okay. That was interesting. So when they come in here, they should be stunned as well because of the electric fences that I've put in, and I can repair them obviously because they are like this. If needed, I can just go here and repair them because they probably will be breaking throughout the Blood Moon Horde. And I think there's some over there as well that is coming in. So hopefully this is sufficient. I'm not 100% sure. There's always a big problem when you're having so many concurrent zombies because they all go to one spot, and that can get really overwhelming. So we'll see. Night has fallen and the red moon has risen. Slowly rising, somewhere over there. And okay, they already come in here. Let's see here. Hopefully, due to the massive amount of dart traps I have, it should kill the zombies faster than they can accumulate. Hopefully. The big problem is that if I can kill them fast enough, they will basically just become more and more and more and more and more. And that becomes an issue because you don't want to have 64 zombies in this small area. Then the cops will take damage, they won't take enough damage, and they won't die, and you have a shitload of problems. So far, actually, you saw that one did help. The vulture that was trying to fly in, that helped. The dart traps here actually do seem to do a really good job of keeping up. So far, I haven't seen any demolishers or any cops, which is good. I am sort of hidden anyway. I think that vulture will eventually maybe die. They are slowly making their way forward. That's the first demolisher. He's not going to be set up by the dart traps. Hopefully he will die quickly because he got so much hit points. Which means that while the darts are hitting him, they're not hitting a lot of other things. And that can cause a problem if you're having cops hiding behind him. Alright, so that one, oh, that's working well. I'm not doing any active fighting right now. I wanted to see sort of how does it look if you're basically just having the traps, everything running. The electric fences will degrade, and that is a problem. I can and I will be repairing them. It's interesting that they're all sort of going to this corner to get through. I guess that's the weakest point. It is steeled up, which should really help. Now, because they're coming on this side, let's see how these work. See, they walk up here and then they realize that, hey, no, there's no way to get past here. Ooh, now I'm upside down. No. There's no way to get past here, which means they go around and continue. So that's exactly what we want. We don't want to have them sort of bashing on these arrow slits. But this seems to be, we see he comes here and they decide, nope, the fastest path is just to go here. Perfect, perfect. She got lost, which is fine as well. A lot of loot. I can't really get it though. Which is alright, but so far, surprisingly effective actually. Alright, let's go back here. So I'm going to have a look at... let's see, I can repair this one. This one has taken some damage. Not terribly bad. It's still manageable. Ooh, and... oh. Yep. See, this is what happens... oh. Yep, this is what happens when there are too many of them. So, this is definitely an issue. So now they're walking, running on each other's heads. So the problem that I have here, and that I realized when I was actually making this the first time. Oh, and he came through as well. Or maybe I never killed him the first time. Maybe. So the big problem here is that because I didn't make the... kill it! Die! Oh, now they're coming from this side. Oh, I have no real defenses there. Okay, I have to be a little bit careful. So the main problem here is that I didn't make the pit very, very deep. So when it's like this, they can actually run on top of each other's heads. And if there's a bunch of zombies here, they will be able to run all the way through. Because this one is not really that long. I could have probably made it a little bit lengthier. And I should have made the pit deeper. You probably want to have it, let's say, another 3 deep. So that you don't have this situation where they're actually running on each other's heads. It works. But it is a bit inconvenient when they're running and getting in towards you. So you want to avoid that. Standing here works probably pretty well though. You want to make sure you don't hit the demolisher and set him off, because that will deal massive damage. Just standing here is pretty effective. I mean, you look at the experience, 93,000. Look at that. So just the dart traps are dealing so much damage. Now, it's a little bit difficult for me to shoot inside here. I could stand up here and shoot them if I want to. You have to be a little bit careful about hitting the demolishers in the head, because you definitely don't want to set them off. So I'm using hollow points on my tactical assault rifle, which means that it's not going to penetrate and it won't hit anything behind. I just have to make sure I don't do a direct hit on that stupid C4 button. I don't know who would actually be running around with a C4 strapped to their chest and a button to set it off. I mean, if you are a suicide bomber, why would you even want to have a button that can set you off? And he doesn't look like a suicide bomber. He looks like some kind of military guy, so I don't know what's up with that. Using the shotgun slugs, pretty effective as well, because they deal a lot of damage. And if you notice, I'm out of God mode here as well. So let's do that. I could shoot him in the face as well. No God mode. It will penetrate multiple, so you have to be a little bit careful like that. Don't hit the red button. Oh, sorry, green button. Whatever button. Don't hit any buttons. Don't set anything off. Don't trigger anyone. Trigger warning. Let's go have a look at if I need to repair these ones. Not too bad. And a little bit of... Oh, upgrading that was not what I wanted. A little bit of damage is acceptable. And here's a good example of when the zombies actually decide to get stuck here. It does happen, especially if you have multiple zombies at the same location. They might get stuck and he can actually get away from there because this one is considered to be basically just open ground. So let's see here. Let me help her to fall down here. Now she should be... Yep, this is exactly what I wanted. I think she should be running this way. Come on. A little bit uneven, sorry, uneven terrain. And then she decides to come up here and just join the rest of the team. So that's exactly why I wanted to have that. Thank you for showing. Sometimes they're just so kind. This one who was here has decided to move on. That's all right. Oh, and now we're getting a bunch of them here. And none of them are actually making it anymore. It's sort of occasional that it happens that these traps are not able to keep up. So far, it's been like 1 or 2 getting across. If you're standing and just shooting yourself, and by shooting yourself, I don't mean shooting yourself. I mean if you're standing behind here and actively defending as well, it's a little bit easier because you will damage and take out some of the zombies before they get into the pit, which means that the pit have less to do. That's something definitely to be recommended. Try to thin them out a little bit. Just be careful so that you aren't setting off any demolishers. But if you're a little bit careful, getting some headshots, you don't actually require that much ammo. And I'll probably go through, 500 rounds, 1,000 rounds of ammo if I'm just semi-actively shooting here, just to help to take a little bit of the pressure off down here. Oh, one cop exploded, so there's all right. I thought he was dead, but apparently he was just injured. Otherwise, I would have killed him. I did shoot him, but I didn't actually kill him. That was my mistake. So he does a little bit of damage around that area. Not fatal, obviously, because it's all steeled up, but it's a little bit annoying to have to repair because you forgot to kill one of the cops. Now you can see there's a bunch of zombies down here. Just go and just do a little bit of a cleanup, just to help to take a little bit of pressure off. They are obviously using a fair bit of darts, as you can see. We are still okay. I don't know if the darts will actually last the whole horde. That is going to be really interesting to see. So interestingly, the lanterns I put here on this side of the wall have been destroyed. I think the usual problem with lantern with the usual problem with explosions actually do occur, where the explosion goes through walls. So that's I guess it's unavoidable sometimes, especially when you're using not full blocks. So let me replace these ones here so you can see a little bit better. But we have one stuck here, one small little spider. He's stuck through here. He probably could be... Now he's not bashing, he's just bashing this one. And it's gonna hold, so that's no problem at all. Look at all this trash. We all like trash, don't we? Especially when it's nice and yellow. But the dart traps are still firing. Now I shifted over on this side. So the zombies are coming more here, which helps because they used to come here and they're starting to deplete the darts there. Beyond that, it's just they're just pouring in. And we have that destroyed block here that I took out just to show. Otherwise, they're all running where they should be, running up, running down, and dying due to the massive amount of... Oh, you saw? There's actually... I should go ahead and take care of them. There's actually him is here because he ran all the way through here on top of the heads of the zombies that were there. Again, it could happen. If you're actively defending, it's less of an issue though. I noticed I was standing here for the past couple of hours of just shooting. Same with him. See, it came up here and jumped up because the pit is a little bit too low. And you probably are starting to see... I wonder, are you starting... No, this one. No, this one is not being triggered very much. That's a bit of a... I wonder why. I mean, it does trigger sometimes, but maybe not enough. Maybe something wrong with the... Alright, hold on. Like that. Yes. Whew. Okay, let me go out here of this and let's turn this off. Turn off. Let's do a turn off here as well. So these ones, wow, these were really were using most of their ammunition, their darts. Oh, this one is not connected. Oh, that's a bit of an issue. So this is something that can happen. I thought I double checked it. I had forgotten to actually link this one up. And that would explain why this side was a little bit weaker because, well, only one of the dart traps were firing. Here, this one was not firing very much at all. I'm not really sure why. For some reason, it seems to be most of the darts that have been taken are the ones shooting straight forward and backwards. And here, they all have been firing, so it's not too bad. It was just one of them that was not active. And this first front line, most of the times, either they're dead or they're standing here and bashing. But I think even then, you see there's so little damage. Look at this. I mean, there's a little bit here and there. This one's 6,009. This one has taken 1,000 damage. This one has taken a little bit more. A couple of thousand there, 2,500. But beyond that, the damage is actually surprisingly light. And look at all this loot. I mean, you could be looting quite a lot of things here. Not enough as to sort of make up all the resource expenditure. But you have to remember that this is a insane difficulty. And let me see if I can get to... My game stage is 720 because I got a really high game count and level 300. And the amount of damage on this base was minimal. I am actually quite surprised at that. I thought that they would at least destroy more of these ones, maybe destroy the ramp. But the ramp has barely been touched, actually, which means that the pathfinding for the zombies is working perfectly. They are going in here, and we did have a couple of cops that exploded here, which is why we have this damage. I forgot to paint these ones, apparently. That's and this one has been attacked. That's a bit weird as well. I didn't upgrade all of these ones to steel, but I probably should have. No, if I look at the damage here, probably because they're standing on top of each other. Maybe the cop is vomiting. But beyond that, all that is fine. There's no risk of them breaking out. Now, if the horde was even longer, I would run out of darts, or I would have to replenish midway. Repairing these ones, simple. A couple of times in the middle of the fight, I repaired these ones, and that was enough. I did not need to do more than that. And a little bit of a semi-active fighting as well. There is no good way here to manage the spiders jumping in. You notice that happen. Vultures could come in as well. If they're spawning there and they're going straight in here, they will come in. If they're anywhere else, from the side, from the back, then they will generally get stuck here, get taken out by the blade traps. Again, it was sort of a last minute addition that I made. I wasn't intending for that to be foolproof, but I think overall this worked, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, this is even 64 concurrent zombies, insane. Oof. And of course, there's all this trash. So this is really how the repulsive base works against a massive, massive, massive horde. What do you think? Have you built something like this? What is your way for handling really, really, really big and really late game stage or really late game hordes which have a really high game stage? What's your technique? Let me know. As always, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you're subscribed. Helps you get notified, especially if you ring that notification bell, and it enables me to make more of these videos for you. Best of all, it's free. I'll catch you again.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.